Hello guys, good morning and welcome to the Hindu newspaper analysis discussion. So guys, there was some issues in connecting the stream. First of all, please confirm me, uh, is the audio audible and the video visible? Please confirm that particular thing, and after that we will be starting. Okay, so I don't know that what are the issues that there have been the technical glitches in connecting the stream. First of all, please confirm, are you able to see the stream clearly? Is the stream clear? Is the audio clear and the video clear? Please tell me. Yes guys, please comment, is it clear or not? Okay guys, I hope that now the stream is clear and now the video will work fine. So we have done some of tweaks. So guys, apologies for first of all for this technical glitch that came, and now let's start with the today's session. So guys, in the today's video we are going to discuss the entire analysis of the entire newspaper. We will see all the articles along with their background, and I would like to tell you that if you are joining here for the first time, you can download the synoptic notes of this entire session. Now the notes are the basically synoptic notes, gives you the explainer notes of this session. You can download it from the Telegram channel, and the link for the Telegram channel has been given in the description box in YouTube, or you can directly visit the Telegram and can search there by typing Thinking Palette by Sahil. Okay, so in this way you can get the notes of this session. Now, first of all, let's see overview of this entire video so that we can understand that which articles are actually important in the today's newspaper. So for the first article, Indians go west to take up residence by investment. So we will see this particular article with respect to the examination. Then after that, clash breaks out over Dalits offering prayers at MP Shiva temple. Okay, guys, actually you are not required to go too much in detail in these articles. And then we have these advertisements. Coming to the city section, work on the 100 crore revamp promised in Rozgar budget yet to start. Okay, then further in the regional section, most of the crime and related law and order related news etc. we have, no need to go here. After that, moving on in this particular capacity, then we have again the advertisements. Okay, here there is one important article. Odisha focuses on bringing behavioral and social change to end child marriages. So here the case study of Odisha we will see, and we'll also try to see that how these kind of solutions are something which are important for India, rather than what actually happened where the crackdown was carried on the child marriages in Assam. We need to have sustainable solutions like these, okay. Then further moving on, after that again in this particular capacity we don't have much of the important articles. Okay, so we will be moving on, this particular thing. Here we see selfie with daughter to focus on sex workers in G20 countries. So selfie with the daughter was a program, was an initiative that got started in Bibipur village of Haryana, where the Sarpanch nudged the people that they should click a selfie with their daughters and should upload those selfies on a government portal. And basically that is a kind of a way to bring a kind of a behavioral change in the people. Now the selfie with the daughter program has got wide appreciation, and it has been provided that this year selfie with the daughter program is going to focus on sex workers in all the G20 countries. So here we see that how Indian intervention is being used at the global scale, is being used in all the G20 countries. Okay, then further moving on, after that again we have the advertisements. Okay, and then we come to editorial page. So first article, the curious case of the disqualification of a politician. We'll see this particular article with respect to the polity GS paper number 2. Then side article is talking about the battle for the Sena. The Thakres are ceding ground to the Shinde faction. So recently we have seen that here we see this thing that Eknath Shinde's faction has been given the original electoral symbol of bow and arrow of the Shiv Sena party. So that thing is being provided here. Now this particular article, guys, here basically most of you are not required to go into the political details. A picture of Islam that is quite different. Now guys, here the article is giving the reference from the verses, giving the references from the Islamic text or Islamic scriptures. Fine, the article for the examination is not that much relevant. No need to go too much here in this article. I will not advise you to go and read this article too much. Ignore it. Then elderman altercation. So guys, if you are following the newspaper analysis regularly, in the past week we have seen this particular issue repeatedly, where actually what has happened, okay, this issue we have seen repeatedly, that the lieutenant governor in Delhi appointed eldermen. Now who are the eldermen? Eldermen are the people who have specialized knowledge in the matters of municipal administration. So in the Delhi Municipal Corporation, 10 such specialist members can be appointed by LG. Okay, no problem. But then LG gave the voting power to these eldermen. These eldermen can vote in the mayoral election. That thing went to the Supreme Court, and Supreme Court finally said that these eldermen cannot vote. These eldermen cannot vote. So that thing has come. So it is talking about that how BJP had tried to bend the rule and all these things. Okay, so again political inclination has been given in this particular article. Fine, no need to go too much here. Then further moving on, opinion. Why the caste survey in Bihar worries the BJP? So caste census exercise or caste survey has been ordered by the Bihar government, where the people belonging to different caste, their population will be seen. But it has been said that the BJP is not liking that idea. So what are the prospects of BJP, Janata Dal? All these things are provided. So again, article has a lot of political undertone. No need to go too much in the article. Then after that, an effort to go green in Telangana, income tax rates surge amid poor conviction rates. So guys, recently on BBC's office, income tax raids have been carried, and it is being said that often these income tax raids, they have a kind of a motivated reason. It has been said that often the conviction rate in these income tax raids have not been much. Okay, so there are some ulterior motives due to which these income tax raids have been made. Okay, then coming to text and context page, Supreme Court on sealed cover jurisprudence. Okay, so we will see, because guys, the sealed cover jurisprudence have been there in the news since last 1 year. Okay, we'll see this article. How is India addressing sickle cell anemia, and budget special mention of sickle cell anemia was done. We'll see this particular article. Then coming to text and context page, measuring the electrons magnetic moment with extreme accuracy. Now guys, one very important thing I want to bring to your notice. In UPSC syllabus, it is mentioned science and technology. But understand this thing, that core physics, core chemistry, core biology, these area related questions have not been asked in UPSC, and they are not that much required. You are not required to go read core physics, respiratory system, nervous system, because for examination these questions are not asked. Questions are asked onto the new technological developments, the application of the technological developments, etc. Now what has happened, guys, here some of the researchers, they have measured the electrons. Some of the researchers have measured the electrons magnetic moment with a precision of 0.13 ppt, that is parts per trillion, and this is 2.2 times. Okay, this is 2.2 times more accurate than the previous best, which was given in the past 14 years. Okay, so basically here, as we are getting with more precision the electrons magnetic moment. Fine, now this particular finding will be peer reviewed. Okay, and the researchers name, etc., have been given. Now the point comes here is that, do you need to go too much in this particular detail, mathematical equations? Okay, are you required to see? Guys, not for the examination. And how I know that thing? Fine, no, UPSC has not told me personally, but only after seeing the previous year's questions we can draw a pattern, and I will advise you to also please do that particular thing. Okay, fine. So I hope that it is clear. Now moving on to the next article, Navy plans for another Vikram size carrier before Vikramaditya retires. Now this article we will see why, because indigenization of defense is clearly mentioned in GS paper number 3. So we will take that. Then after that, temples destroyed by Mughals, foreign invaders were rebuilt by Shivaji. No need to go guys in these kind of articles for our examination. Then we have political articles, fine, no need to go there. Now here again we have one important case study for social issues. Women groups set up gates to curb supply of liquor during Nagaland polls. Okay, so as a case study in social issues and in ethics, we'll take it. Then India plans to export solar power. Officials will see this particular article also with respect to the examination. RPF's facial recognition system pilot on target in 96% cases. Okay. So basically, guys, what had happened? Railway police force had come out with a facial recognition system. So the CCTVs, they will be embedded with artificial intelligence programs, and these CCTVs can identify the wanted criminals on the railway stations who are trying to flee. Okay, so basically wanted people can be identified and it has a 96% case rate. Okay, 96% probability rate. Then money wise page, on Monday we don't have business page, we have money wise page, and this money wise page, guys, it contains investment related advices, term insurance plans tailor made for NRIs. Fine. So for UPSC article is not that much important. Coming to world page, Blinken, Wang Yi trade accusations over shooting down of spy balloon. So guys, from past 1 month, this issue is going on in everyday newspaper that there was the one Chinese balloon that entered into the US's airspace. US shot down that balloon. Then China says that this is overreaction of USA. USA has sent 10 balloons in the past. So this accusations and counter accusations are being made by China and US on each other, and every day the day-to-day report is being given. No need to go too much here. Israeli airstrike on Syrian capital kills 15%, including 2 women. So guys, basically, we saw this particular thing that the confrontations are going on, and recently, that is yesterday on Sunday, the airstrikes have been made in which the civilians have been killed. Now, first of all, you are not required to go and track this particular development, okay, that how many people died, though it is a very unfortunate event. But guys, this example becomes important because in ethics GS paper number 4, we have ethics of international relation. And just war theory of ethics provides that whenever an intervention or any attack is being made by one country on another country, they need to ensure that there needs to be justified reasons and civilian population should not be targeted. But these principles have more or less forgotten. Then after that, North Korea makes fresh threats against drills. Okay, US bombers fly after ICBM test. So guys, here we see this particular thing that North Korea over the past couple of years have carried extensive development in their intercontinental ballistic missiles. Okay, now so recently also North Korea had carried one of the tests of the ICBM intercontinental ballistic missile, and after that particular thing, US is trying to tame the North Korea, and North Korea has again had shown a kind of a attitude that you can't stop us, whatever we want to do, all such things. Turkey ends quick rescue efforts. Okay, and then we have the sports page. Now guys, one thing I want to talk here very specifically is that every class I deliberately take the entire newspaper and I show that particular newspaper to you, and I ask you guys every day that if please keep some time aside, 3-4 hours, and please analyze the past 10 or 12 year papers at least. Because guys, only after seeing last 10-12 years papers, you'll be able to get an idea the type of questions that UPSC is asking, and only on that type of questions, on that particular analysis basis, we need to do our newspaper analysis as well. Guys, my point is that every day aspirants are wasting their 3-4 hours every day in just reading the newspaper. Point is that newspaper is an essential part of your preparation, but it should not be that heavy that every day you are giving 3-4 hours, because after 10-15 days it will become a kind of a burden. So very precision based reading of newspaper is needed. A very careful reading of newspaper is needed, and for that thing, please analyze the previous year papers. Okay. Fine. One more thing I want to tell you, that many number of times the aspirants ask this particular thing, that after watching your analysis, do I need to read the newspaper also? So we don't have one answer for that. I'll give you 2 answers. Answer number 1. See, first of all, reading is a very good habit. One of the best habit. Reading is a very good habit. So I will not say that reading is bad. No. But understand, actually, if your reading skills are already very good, okay, and you just need an idea, you have that ability that you can manufacture your own answers if you have the idea, then I will not advise you to read newspaper again. Why? Because everything that is there in this article, that plus background plus way forward plus some additional value addition I will give you in this particular session. But if your reading skills are not very good, if your comprehension skills are not very good, even if you have an idea but you cannot rephrase that idea in your words, then I will advise that for your comprehension skills, read the newspaper, okay? But otherwise, not very much needed. So I hope that this particular idea is very clear in your minds. Fine. And now moving to the discussion, one by one discussion. So guys, every class we start with a GS quotation and we see that how this GS quotation can be utilized in our GS papers. Okay. Now, so today we'll take, just a minute. Today we'll take the quotation from the Aristotle. Socrates. Now, it has been provided that at his best, man is the noblest of all animals. Separated from law and justice, he is the worst. At the best, man is the noblest of all animals. Man is noble, man is benign, man is tamed, controlled. Okay, man will control his impulses, man will be driven by ethics. At the best, the man is the noble of all the animals. Separated from law and justice, he is the worst. If law is not there, if idea of justice is not there, and I will add, if ethics are not there, then the man can be worst. Then the man can be worst. Why man can be the worst animal? Because guys, animal will attack, but man will first think and then the man will attack. So therefore, the man can be the worst if law, justice and ethics will not guide the man. Fine. Now, moving on guys, and let's take the first article. The Supreme Court on sealed cover jurisprudence. Supreme Court on sealed cover jurisprudence. Now, this particular article will see with respect to GS paper number 2, issues of polity. GS paper number 2, issues of polity, and within the polity, issues related to judiciary. Fine, we will take that. Now, first of all, this article we have taken, I think, on Saturday also, and guys, this article was there in the news around 6-7 months back also, because many developments on the sealed cover jurisprudence have happened. So therefore, the topic becomes very, very important for the upcoming examination. Now, first of all, what do we understand by this sealed cover jurisprudence? Sealed cover jurisprudence or sealed cover practice means a practice where the documents or the evidence or any recommendation will be given to the judiciary by the government in a sealed cover envelope. It means that whatever the government is giving to, whatever content government is giving to the judiciary, that content could be evidence, that content could be any testimonial, that content could be any document. They will not be shown to the other parties. They will be not shown to the public. They will be not be shown to the accused if there is somebody accused in that particular party. That is the sealed cover practice. Okay. Now, what has happened? You know this particular thing. Adani Hindenburg issue happened. Okay. In the Saturday's analysis, fine. I guess we have also discussed this entire controversy of Adani Hindenburg. Okay, Saturday or Friday. You will find it in the timestamp. Okay. Now, what has happened? Adani Hindenburg controversy happened. Hindenburg report accused Adanis that Adanis have overinflated their stock prices. Adanis have carried the accounting manipulation, etc. Okay. Now, because of that particular thing, the stock prices of Adani started going down. And in Adani, LIC has invested, State Bank of India has invested. So they also have suffered a lot of loss. Moreover, after that particular thing, people, politicians, opposition parties, they are demanding that we need to carry a kind of a, we need to constitute a committee that will study that whether the allegations that were made by Hindenburg, they were correct or they were not correct. So for that particular thing, a committee has to be constituted. Now guys, for that particular thing, center government has recommended certain names that, okay, these people should be there in that particular committee. But these names have been given in a sealed cover letter or sealed cover envelope. It means that common public cannot know that what names have been suggested by the government to the Supreme Court. Okay. Now, Chief Justice of India has actually refused to accept these suggestions that have been offered by the government in this sealed cover letter. Okay. Now, this particular thing shows indirectly that Chief Justice of India is giving a signal to the government of India that sealed cover jurisprudence, this sealed cover legal practice, it has begun to threaten the credibility of judicial institution. Many number of times in the past also this thing has happened, I will tell you. But again by this particular practice, the questions are raised on judiciary, that why judiciary is allowing this opaque practice to happen. So now understand this thing, that routine, there is a, now it is becoming more of a routine. There is a routine handing over of sealed cover in the court by the state. Now sealed cover means the content of this particular document cannot be known. It cannot be known by the parties. Now many number of times, guys, there are the people who have been accused that they have, there are the people who have been charged that they have done some anti-state practices, they have done some anti-state activities. These people are the accused parties in a case. Then government provides the evidence in a sealed cover letter. So these accused people don't know what is written in that particular letter, or what is the evidence that the government is giving. And when they don't know the evidence that has been presented against them, how they can defend themselves, how their lawyers can defend themselves against this evidence which they don't know. So because of this particular thing, the right to free trial is also getting impacted. Is it clear or not? So what is happening? So what is routinely, there is the handing over of sealed cover documents to the to the courts by the state. Often we see this thing, that when the evidence are being given in a sealed cover, okay, the people who are fighting for their life, the people who are fighting for their personal liberty, they don't know what it is there. These petitioners are unable to defend themselves. They are unable to defend themselves. Okay, so this is in some other cases where some accused party is there. Now sealed cover documents have been given to the Supreme Court by the government in many of the cases. For example, in the Rafale jet purchase deal, the document was given into the sealed cover. Then in the Assam National Register of Citizens case, okay, the documents or the evidence were given on a sealed cover. Ayodhya dispute, Gujarat police fake encounter case. Okay, moreover, guys, here if I give you one more example, so there was the Media One telecast ban hearing. So Media One was a channel, was a television channel. It was banned. It went off air. Why it went off air? Why it was not allowed to telecast? Because government said that they have shown certain programs which are anti-national. Then what happened? The government was asked that, okay, you give us proof that they have shown some anti-national content. So that proof that the government gave, that was also into the sealed cover. So they don't knew what to say. They don't knew how to testify against that particular evidence. So this is something that was bad. I will be coming on you that particular thing again. Now a question comes that can the Supreme Court or can the judiciary accept the evidences in sealed cover? Can they do that particular thing? So for that particular thing, we have certain legal procedures. Let's understand them. Number one, there is Rule 7 of the Supreme Court rules. Fine. Rule 7 of the Supreme Court rules. You don't need to remember the order 13 or some. Rule 7 of the Supreme Court rules. And then there is a section 123 of the Indian Evidence Act. So as per Rule 7 of the Supreme Court rules and the section 123 of the Indian Evidence Act, these documents or evidences or testimonies can be given to the Supreme Court into the sealed cover. Secondly, we also have article number 145 of the Indian Constitution. Article 145 gives the power to the Supreme Court that Supreme Court can make rules for regulation of their own practice and procedure. Okay, so Supreme Court can define, can provide that how our procedure will go on. So as per that also Supreme Court can allow such sealed cover submissions. Okay, good. I have already told you that in Media One telecast ban case, the evidence was given into the sealed cover letter. Now at that point of a time, what happened? Supreme Court specifically provide. Now see, basically, first of all, the channel got banned, then the petition was made into the Supreme Court. Now here, the Supreme Court provided this particular thing, that whenever government is providing document in sealed cover, they need to give the reasons, extenuating circumstances. They need to give reason that why they gave such evidence in sealed cover, why that evidence could not have been given in the uncovered, unsealed letter. Okay, so they have to tell that particular thing. Moreover, there is also one more case, that is the SP Velumani case of 2022. In this particular case, what happened? Madras High Court decided to permit a report, okay, to remain shrouded in sealed cover. So Madras High Court accepted a sealed cover report. Now here the Supreme Court criticized the Madras High Court that why you allowed the submission in sealed cover. Why you allowed the submission in sealed cover? Madras High Court was criticized by the Supreme Court. Okay. Similarly, The Supreme Court also criticized the Bihar government when Bihar government gave their documents, gave their evidences in a sealed cover in the Muzaffarpur shelter case. Muzaffarpur shelter case. So Muzaffarpur shelter case was a case where the children living in a shelter case, they were sexually harassed. So in that case, the evidence was given in a sealed cover. Why? Fine. Now here one more reference I want to give you guys here. Supreme Court in Pegasus case. So there was one judgment, Manohar Lal Sharma judgment. In Manohar Lal Sharma judgment or in the Pegasus case, Supreme Court provided this thing that every time government gave, for example, every time government justifies some of their actions by taking the name of national security. For example, many times a sealed cover evidence are being given, and when it is asked that why you are giving it in a sealed cover, government say national security. So here Supreme Court has very clearly provided that the state cannot get a free pass every time the specter of national security is raised. Just by using the word national security, they cannot get a free pass to do everything. National security cannot be the bugbear that the judiciary shies away from him. It has been provided that judiciary should also not shy away just the moment the word national security has been used. They should question again that, okay, why national security will be impacted by that? How the national security will be threatened by this thing? So this is something which is there. So guys, Manohar Lal Sharma judgment or the Pegasus case, SP Velumani case, Media One hearing, Media One telecast ban hearing case in the Supreme Court. Clearly, Supreme Court has provided that we are not very okay with the idea that the documents are being submitted to the Supreme Court in the sealed cover letter. Okay, that is all guys about it. Fine, I hope that you have understood it. Now moving to the next article. Odisha focuses on bringing behavioral and social change to end child marriages. Okay, now this particular article we are going to see with respect to the GS paper number 1 as well as GS paper number 1 as well as GS paper number 2, that is the social issues, okay, and social justice. So social justice is in GS2 and social issues are in GS paper number 1. Now, before going in this particular article, guys, I would like to connect this particular article with one of another development that has happened in the Assam in just past 1 or 2 weeks. So basically, guys, what had happened, the Assam government had started crackdown. Assam government had started the crackdown on child marriages. As per the Prevention of Child Marriage Act 2006, a girl needs to be minimum 18 years of age if she want to get married, and boy needs to be minimum 21 years of age if they want to get married. If any person is marrying a girl below the age of 18 years or a boy below the age of 21 years, that particular practice will be called as child marriages. Now, in Assam, many of the communities, because they are the tribal, because of their cultural practices, because they are unaware, because they are poor, they have indulged into the child marriages. And what has happened? Assam government arrested these husbands who were involved in child marriages, and more than 4,000 cases have been filed in the child marriages just in 2023. Okay, now there is one another side of this development that had come. It has been provided that the people or the males, husbands who have been arrested for the child marriages, often they don't know that the marriages below this age are not allowed. Often they are poor. Moreover, there is a criticism that has come that rather than arresting, first of all, you focus on the root cause, that why child marriages are happening. First focus on that, and then such punitive measures should be taken. This particular issue came. Now guys, here we see that Odisha government how is dealing with another approach. Odisha government is not using the practice of arresting the people first, rather it is bringing the social behavioral change in the people so that the people they change from their hurt. So social behavioral change is being brought here. So let's see what is this Odisha government's case study, and this case study can also be used in governance related measures of GS paper number 2. So in governance also it can be used. So basically, Odisha is taking a long-term review on bringing social and behavioral changes. Actually, it is working on building the attitudinal change. And for the matter of attitude, in GS paper number 4 also, this particular thing can be used as a case study. So attitudinal change government is bringing. Now, step number one, first of all, what has done, all the districts have been tracked, and the absence of the girls from the schools, fine, and the absence of the girls from the villages are being reported. For example, let's say there is a village by the name of A. In this particular village A, let's say there are the 100 girls, and these 100 girls are, let's say, 8 years old. or let's say these 100 girls are, let's say, 13-year-old. Technically they should be in the school, okay, but suddenly they disappear from the school, and suddenly they also disappear from the village. So if they have been disappeared from the village and they have been disappeared from the school, where they went? Probable reason is that they got married. Up till now, nobody was tracking this particular thing. But now Odisha government is tracking the absence of the girls from the schools and villages. Find these, there is a reporting of these numbers to the district administration that, okay, a village had 100 girls which were of, let's say, 13 years, but out of the 100, now 80 girls are only there. So this matter will be reported to district administration. Then district administration will send the representatives to the parents of these families. They will counsel them, they will get the information where these girls are. Okay, fine. So these particular steps will be taken. So point is that sensitization and education is being taken up rather than arresting these people directly. Second thing is that Advika platform has got started. Advika means that every girl is unique. Advika means that every girl is unique. This is a platform where all the schemes, particularly targeting the girls between 10 to 19 years, are provided on this particular platform. Many number of times, girls are being married because the families are poor, because the families can't sustain those girl childs. So therefore, government is providing many of the welfares to these girls, so that at least the girls don't become a burden to the families who are poor. So all these schemes will be given to them on a single platform, that is Advika. Okay. Then Chief Minister also actively is taking interest in this particular scheme's implementation. Chief Minister has come out with the clear guidelines to declare village child marriage free. Now see this thing. This thing has worked really good in the Swachh Bharat mission. So in the Swachh Bharat mission, the villages which have achieved the open defecation free status, they were given the titles of the ODF village or ODF plus village or ODF plus plus village. By that particular thing, the villages, they became motivated to retain this particular tagline. So therefore, they actively worked to remove ODF. Now, the villages will also be given this particular kind of a tagline. Moreover, there are the monetary incentives for the particularly vulnerable tribal groups. Now, PVTG, particularly vulnerable tribal groups, are those tribals which are even more backward, which are even more vulnerable compared with the other tribal. In India, the highest number of PVTG, they live in the Odisha state. And the PVTG, particularly vulnerable tribal group classification, is given by the Ministry of Home Affairs, not the Ministry of Tribal Affairs. Keep it in your mind. So these PVTG, they are more prone to the child marriages, so they are being given monetary incentives also. Okay, fine. And individual districts have also then designed their own strategies how to reduce the child marriages. All these particular developments have been carried, and because of the success of all these particular things, there is a decline in the child marriages also in Odisha that has been observed. For example, there has been in the National Family Health Survey 4, around 21.3% marriages were the child marriages, but they got declined to 20.5% in National Family Health Survey 5. So this is an overall decline that has happened. Moreover, police is also being used here, and police is playing a constructive role in reducing the child marriages. Rather than arresting the people, rather than putting in the jail, police is also working to sensitize these people. What Odisha police is doing? Now, inspectors, there are the inspectors in charge of the police stations. They have been assigned the job of conducting monthly meetings in the communities. So inspectors will go with the meet the community members, will educate them, will sensitize them, will tell them the government schemes that aims to cater the girls. Okay, fine. So they are going to the communities. Which communities? Those communities which are dropping their girl childs out of the school. Okay, and they are also going to those communities where child marriage is very prevalent. Okay, they are also meeting the representatives of the panchayat, they are meeting the parent bodies, even they are meeting the children, so that the children also know their right. Many number of times children don't know that what is the minimum marriageable age. So on multiple levels Odisha is working. Now further, it has also been provided that police stations in Odisha, they are being made child friendly, so that the girls would feel empowered to approach the police. If the parents of the girl are getting that girl married without her wishes, these girls can approach the police. Okay, so therefore this is something. And then a specific program, okay, a specific program has also been started by the police, that is the Kishori Jagrukta Saptah. Kishori Jagrukta Saptah, this was a week-long program, okay, where adolescents, girls, they were sensitized. Moreover, the parents are also being, okay, The parents are also being nudged, parents are also being educated. Now see this thing, in attitude there is ego defensive function of basically there is ego defensive attitudes. Moreover, in the persuasion also, to persuade a person you need to you need to strike on a person's egos, you need to strike on the person's particular kind of an attitudes. Now you see this particular thing, it has been provided under these sensitization programs that if you marry your girls or if you marry your children, there will be the loss of education, there will be their health issues, their teenage pregnancies will be the problem, okay, and the empowerment of the adolescent girls themselves is needed. For the empowerment of the girls, they should not be married early. So by these particular by these particular kind of texts, the parents are being nudged. By okay, by this particular thing, the parents' attitude of being a responsible parent is being trigged. Okay, so this is one particular kind of way as how government is working, and these kind of templates need to be adopted in other states as well whenever the issues of social change are concerned. Guys, please keep in your mind that social change will always be a slow process, and social change cannot just be brought by bringing law. Social change can only come when the people's attitudes will be changed, and changing the people's attitude, changing the people's beliefs will take a lot of time, and that change can only happen by sensitizing these people. And for sensitization, again, they need to be given such meaningful nudges as Odisha government is doing. So putting them in jail is very simple, putting these people in the jail is very simple, it is very easy, but that is not going to eradicate the problem from the root. It is not going to eradicate the problem from the root. Okay, so this is the issue. Now moving on and taking the next article, how is India addressing sickle cell anemia? How India is addressing the sickle cell anemia. Now this particular article we'll see with respect to the GS paper number 2 health, GS paper number 2 health, as well as in GS paper number 2 social justice. In GS paper number 2 social justice, we are going to see this particular article. Okay, now let's understand it. Now first of all, guys, why sickle cell anemia has suddenly become important? It is because of a reason that recently Finance Minister of India announced in the budget that we want to eliminate sickle cell anemia completely by 2047. By the time India will celebrate its 100-year anniversary, we want to completely eliminate the sickle cell anemia from India. Now let's understand that what is this sickle cell anemia. By the way, I want to tell you that today India has the largest burden of children being born with the sickle cell anemia. Okay, so basically India is the second largest, not the largest, second largest. My apologies. So India is the second, it is written here also, India is the second worst affected country in terms of predicted birth with the sickle cell anemia, that is the chances of being born with the condition. Now let's understand that what is the sickle cell anemia. So basically, guys, when we talk about the hemoglobin in the blood plays a very important role. Hemoglobin carries the oxygen to the different body parts. If they will not be supplied the oxygen, they will die. So hemoglobin carries the oxygen to the different parts of the body, and the hemoglobin has 4 subunits. It has 4 protein subunits, alpha subunits and beta subunits. Okay, hemoglobin has alpha subunits and beta subunits. Okay, now sometimes because of a genetic condition, because of some genetic problem, these beta subunits, they actually impact the shape of the blood cell. The blood cells shape will be impacted. Usually the blood cells, they are circular, they are round, but then they will become like a sickle, like this. Okay, their shape will be impacted. Now understand this particular thing, that the round blood cells, they can move easily in the blood vessels. I will show you this particular thing in a photograph also. Okay, so guys, here you see this thing, that normally these are the veins, okay, and normally these are the shape of the blood cells. Okay, when they are circular like that Alpenlibe candy, they can move very easily. Okay, But this is a sickle cell anemia. So here we see that the blood cells, they have become like this. Now, because of this particular thing, they get entangled with each other, and they also obstruct the movement of this red blood cell in the blood vessels. Okay, because of this particular thing, what happened? They block the basically what they happen, they block the blood vessels, and these red blood cells, they cannot reach the different body organs, and then they will be impacted. So this is that sickle cell anemia. So problem is that these red blood cells, circular red blood cells, they will become something like this. They will become something like this. This is the problem. Now this sickle cell anemia, SCA, it is a genetic disorder. It is a genetic disorder. It means that many number of times it is passed from parent to their children. Is it clear or not? Now, when we talk about the sickle cell anemia, how to treat it? How to treat it? Why? To understand their treatment, because government has used the word that we will eliminate it by 2047. So is that elimination by 2047 even possible? Okay. So sickle cell anemia is a genetic disorder, and eliminating it is a very big challenge because of the scientific breakthroughs that are needed. Right now, the only viable solution to protect a child from the sickle cell anemia, only cure is the gene therapy. The cure is gene therapy, or the cure is the stem cell transplantation. But the gene therapy, stem cell transplantation, scientifically they are difficult, even they are very much costly. So therefore, by this particular thing, complete elimination might not be possible. Now, a person suffering with the sickle cell anemia, they can be provided a kind of an effective treatment by the complete blood transfusion. The complete blood transfusion, they can be provided some effective treatment. Here, the red blood cells will be removed, fine, and some person who will donate the blood, that particular blood will be given to the patient. But there is a challenge, because there is a scarcity of donors. People are not ready to donate the blood. Fear around safe supply of blood, risk of infections are also there. Okay, now when we talk about the sickle cell anemia in India or in other parts of the world also where the sickle cell anemia has been found, it has been found that actually there are the two correlations in the sickle cell anemia. Number one, more prevalence of sickle cell anemia is in the region where the malaria is more prevalent. Now you see this thing that malaria, dengue, these diseases are the tropical diseases, and these flies which malaria and dengue are very much there where the moisture will be more, where the heat will be more. Particularly in the dense jungle regions, the dengue and malaria are high, particularly the malaria. So where the malaria is high, sickle cell anemia also happens to be high, and basically the tribal people are more impacted by the sickle cell anemia. So basically disorders of the blood, they are more common among the tribal population than the non-tribal communities. Moreover, where malaria is endemic, sickle cell is prevalent. The point is that our tribal people are more danger, and actually that is a fact also, that majority of the sickle cell anemia cases are in the tribal people. So tribal people are to be specifically targeted with the health schemes, they are to be given more assistance. Now, understand this particular thing. Sickle cell anemia is also very much high in the communities who practice endogamy. Now, what is endogamy? Endogamy is a practice of marrying within a social group. Within a social group. For example, same caste marriages are endogamy. What is exogamy? Exogamy is to marry outside a group. Now understand this thing. Suppose one tribal group, and they have high anemia cases. When they will marry with each other, so what will happen? The two people who are getting married, there is a more probability that both already have a sickle cell anemia, and therefore the child that will be born, that child will be more prone, that child will get that sickle cell anemia disorder inheritance. Okay, so therefore the communities which are practicing endogamy, the chances of having two parents with sickle cell trait is high, and when both the parents are having already sickle cell anemia, they will pass it to their child as well. So this is a very big problem. Now, what government of India is doing? So basically, Indian Council of Medical Research and National Rural Health Mission is undertaking the outreach programs where the representatives of the National Rural Health Mission, they are reaching to the communities and providing them treatment, providing them education about the sickle cell anemia. For better management and control of disease, they are reaching to the tribal people. Now, in this particular budget, Union Health Minister has also provided that the special cards will be provided to the tribal areas, to the people below the age of 40. What are these tribal health cards? Now, these special cards will be divided into different categories based on the screening result. So people will be screened that whether they are having sickle cell anemia or not. If they have, then they will be given the treatment. Okay, so these specialized cards will also be given for the screening process. So that is all guys about this entire topic. I hope that you have understood it. Okay, so guys, I hope that you have understood it, and guys, it actually takes a lot of hard work to make these particular sessions. So therefore, if you are liking it and if you are really enjoying it, please do hit like button to our video. Now moving to next article. Indians go west, take up residence by investment. Indians go west, take up residence by investment. Okay, now, so basically guys, over the last 1 year, this discussion has become quite prevalent that large number of people, they are abandoning the Indian citizenship and they are acquiring the citizenship of the Western countries. Large number of people are abandoning the Indian citizenship. Now understand this particular thing, that when we talk about the outbound migration, that has always been very high, and because of this excessive migration, we have also coined a word, that is the brain drain. We find this particular thing, that large number of talented Indian students, they are going to the other foreign universities, they are serving there, and this brain drain is continuing. Okay, but now, okay, one brain drain, I want to tell you one more word, brain gain. What is brain gain? Now see this thing, the people, they leave India, they go to other countries. Okay, brain drain. But after a time, when these people have earned money, when they have acquired the skill set, they will again come to India, and then they will give their services to India. That is the brain gain. Okay, this is the brain drain and brain gain. Now moving on guys, actually now what has happened, the data have been given by Ministry of External Affairs, and by this particular data, Ministry of External Affairs have provided that how many people have actually renounced, gave back their Indian citizenship. So in 2022, 2.25 lakh Indians, they renounced their Indian citizenship, and this is the highest number since 2011. So in 2022, highest number of people renounced the Indian citizenship. Okay, this is the data by the Ministry of External Affairs, and here it has been shown that particularly the largest number of people who renounced their Indian citizenship, they are the HNI, that is the high net worth individuals. Now these high net worth individuals are going to the West countries such as the US or the European countries. Why? Because they are getting the better opportunities there, they are getting better health care, they are getting better quality of life, better quality of education for their children, they are getting other more enhanced opportunities as well there. Now first of all, when we talk about the high net worth individuals, these are those people who have the wealth of more than $1 million. So if a person having wealth of 8.2 crore or more, they become the high net worth individuals. And according to Henley Global Citizen Report, Global Citizen Report, there are around 3.5 HNIs in India, but majority of these HNIs are found in Mumbai, Delhi, Kolkata, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Pune, Chennai, Gurugram, Ahmedabad, etc. Now, not that much important how many lakh. Okay, now further it has been provided that actually, as we talk about these HNIs going in other countries, acquiring their citizenships in their countries, so one very preferred way is a golden visa route. What is a golden visa? Basically guys, if you go in the countries and if you do a specific investment, for example, if you buy the property up to a particular limit, they will give you permanent residency or they will give you the permanent citizenship. So this is the citizenship via golden visa. Okay, first you will be getting a visa that you are coming to invest in a particular country, and if you invest above a particular level, you can get their permanent residency or you get a permanent you get a citizenship there. So it has been provided that, for example, US EB5 visa program, there is a Portugal golden visa program, Australian Global Talent Independent Visa Program, Malta Permanent Residency Program, Greece Residency by Investment Program. So what people do, they take their life savings, okay, they invest their life savings in some Western country, and by that thing they will get the investment. And many people are preferring to do this. Many people are preferring to do this particular thing. Now there can be many other reasons also, political reasons. Many number of times it is said that politically many issues are there which people don't feel that they might be uh, okay, I don't want to use such words specifically here, fine. So moving on, because of the political reasons, because of the social reasons, because of the economic reasons, people are doing these particular things. Now moving on to the next article. India plans to export solar power. India plans to export solar power, officials. Okay. Now, this particular article we are going to see with respect to GS paper number 3. Indian economy, export potential of India, and even for GS paper number 3, environment, climate change, and green energies. We will see this particular article. Let's start with it. Okay. So, first of all, before going in this particular article, I would like to tell you some of the basic background information. And after understanding this basic background information, we'll go in this article. Now, see this particular thing. Guys, when we talk about India, India had taken the ambitious targets of developing the renewable energy in India. For example, 500 gigawatt of renewable energy has to be deployed in India by 2030. And if I give you the target for 2022, then we have taken a target that by 2022, we have to install 175 gigawatt of renewable energy. And out of this 175, 100 gigawatt mandatorily had to come from the solar. First of all, how much target we have achieved out of the renewable energy? So basically, as of December 2022, it has been provided that out of 175, 122 gigawatt we achieved. So it means we were not able to achieve complete 175 gigawatt. And solar ka target, that is 100, out of the 100 we achieved 62 gigawatt by 2022. So there is a lot of potential, there is a lot of requirement of having the renewable energy deployment in India. But what is the problem? Why we are not able to deploy the renewable energies? Point is that when we talk about the solar power plants, fine, now here you can see a solar panel. The point is that these solar panels, solar modules, and particularly polysilicon wafers, that is an important component of those solar panels. We don't have our own capacity to manufacture them. We largely import these polysilicon wafers, solar panels from China. And right now we are going towards the Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan. So we have a confusion. On one hand, Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan means decouple from China. But if we decouple from China, from where the solar modules will come? We don't have our own indigenous capacity. And by this particular thing, the problems have got exacerbated in the past. So there are the bottlenecks in deployment of solar energy in India. Number one, high cost of solar modules. Why? Because they're imported. Then because of that, we also become dependent on China. Okay. So first of all, shortage of components, equipments. Second problem is that land acquisition has been a major challenge. Okay, for solar deployment of solar plants, solar panels, you need big tracts of land. Now, center commissioned around 57 large solar parks. Okay, large solar parks, 57 large solar parks were commissioned by the center, okay, which will have a capacity of 40 gigawatt, but only 10 gigawatt has been operationalized out of 57. Okay, sorry, after 40, out of 40 gigawatt, only 10 gigawatt has been commissioned. Why 30 gigawatt did not got commissioned? Because land we did not got. Okay, now the land problem will be solved, but this problem of modules can be solved by Indian industry, by the Indian manufacturers. And in that particular capacity, guys, India has already come out with many number of schemes. Okay, for example, if I give you one example of the such scheme, there is PLI, Production Linked Incentive Scheme. Under the Production Linked Incentive Scheme, the industries who are specifically trying to manufacture the solar modules, they will be given the financial incentives, and these things will show result by 20 these things will show results in the coming years. By 2026 it will show the result. So by 2026 Indian industry will be able to manufacture every year solar component, solar modules that can generate up to 100 gigawatt of power. They will be able to manufacture the solar modules that can generate up to 100 gigawatt of solar power, and by that particular thing they can help the country to be the net exporter of solar power. Today we import the solar inputs, but tomorrow, the next year, by the 2026 we will be able to become the net exporter. Okay, fine. Now, so this is something, guys, please do note it down as an important fact in your Indian economy notes. Then second thing that comes here is that, guys, we are also deploying the solar pumps on the agricultural fields also. For that we have a specific scheme, PM Kusum. PM Kusum stands for Pradhan Mantri, and Kusum stands for Kisan Urja Sanrakshan Evam Uttam Maha Abhiyan. Okay, so under this particular PM Kusum schemes, the farmers will be provided the daytime solar power pumps, so that they can use the solar pumps to spread water in their fields. Right now they are dependent on electric pumps or diesel pumps, largely the diesel pumps. So in order to move them away from diesel pumps to the electric pumps, they will be given these solar power pumps. It will help in reducing the power subsidies. Today when they are giving electricity, many of the states, free electricity is given to them, or very subsidized kind of electricity at 1 rupee, 1.5 rupee is being given to them. So a lot of power subsidies are going in agriculture sector. So these power subsidies can be reduced. Then the next is that it will also help in decarbonization of agriculture. Okay, and for this PM Kusum scheme, more than 34,000 crore rupees will be spent by the center. Okay, so on the farm, 10,000 megawatt of solar power plants will be installed. Okay, so this is something as how India is moving towards decarbonization. This is how India is trying to move away from from carbon based energies to the renewable energies. Okay, for the renewable energy. Now, moving to next article. The curious case of the disqualification of a politician. The curious case of the disqualification of a politician. Now, this particular article will see with respect to the GS paper number 2, issues related to elections. Issues related to elections, issues related to the criminalization of politics, how to clean the criminalization of politics from elections in India, etc. Okay, let's start with this article. Now, basically, guys, first of all, here there is an example of an MP that has been given from the Lakshadweep. First of all, you don't need to go too much in the background of the personal story of this particular incident. Okay, now let's understand it. Fine, just a minute, let me zoom it out so that you can see it more clearly. What has happened? So basically, Lakshadweep's Lok Sabha MP, okay, recently he got disqualified as the member of Lok Sabha. He got disqualified as the member of Lok Sabha. Why? Deliberately we will not use any name here, and please you also don't use any name in your answers. Okay, fine. So this Lakshadweep MP got disqualified as a member of Lok Sabha because one of our district court convicted him and 3 other people in attempt to murder case. In an attempt to murder case, he got convicted. Now, guys, we have a very clear judgment in this particular direction. Now, understand this particular thing. First of all, I will tell you the basic provisions with respect to the disqualification of the MPs that we have. So first of all, there is Article 102 of the Indian Constitution, and Article 102 of the Indian Constitution very clearly provides the grounds for the disqualification. Here it has been provided that a person cannot will be disqualified if a person is holding the office of profit, if a person is of unsound mind, if a person has become insolvent, or if a person is not a citizen of India. These are the disqualifications. A person cannot contest for the position of an MP. Apart from that, the power has been given to the parliament. That parliament can also come out with other conditions, can also come out with the other grounds that when a person will be disqualified. And in that particular capacity, the parliament has come out with the Representation of People Act 1951. Representation of People Act 1951. And as per this RP 1951 Act, it has been provided that a person will be disqualified if a person is convicted. Guys, understand, conviction means a person's crime has been proved. So if a person has been convicted and if a person has been given imprisonment of 2 years or more, he will be disqualified. Okay, if he will be disqualified. Also, the person is disqualified if he is imprisoned. Okay, now this is a provision provided in the Representation of People Act. Fine. So this is the provision provided in the Representation of People Act, particularly the section 8 of the Representation of People Act 1951. Now, there was also one exception. There was also one exception at that point of a time. Exception was this, that if a sitting member got convicted and if that particular person within 3 months or from the date of conviction had made an appeal. Suppose a person got convicted of a crime on 1st January, within 3 months, if that particular person would have made an appeal in other court, then that particular person's disqualification can be stayed. That particular person will not become disqualified. This was the original provision. Okay. But guys, the point is that this particular thing violated the Article 14. Differential treatment of candidate for elections, okay, and sitting members was challenged under Article 14. It has been said that why so much special treatment for the MPs? If they have done a crime, they needed to be treated as the criminals. Why such special treatment? And guys, in this particular context, we got this Lily Thomas versus Union of India case 2013. Lily Thomas versus Union of India case 2013. It has been provided in this particular case that immediate disqualification will happen if a member of parliament, fine, who has been convicted for a crime and has been given a minimum sentence of 2 years, immediately he loses the membership of that particular house with immediate effect. If you remember, originally there was a provision that that particular person can appeal in other court within 3 months. So by that particular thing, guys, actually a lot of problem was coming. Understand this particular thing that you know that cases are dispensed in Indian judiciary in so many of the years. It takes 15-20 years. So if a person will appeal in other court, decision will come, let's say, in 10-15 years. Till then, that person will continue. And after 10 years, it is ruled that no, actually that person was convicted. So a criminal has continued for the 10 years. So this particular thing got changed by the Lily Thomas case of 2013. And by using this Lily Thomas case of 2013, okay, what has happened? This particular person has been said that he has become disqualified. Okay, so we have seen this particular 2013 Lily Thomas judgment here also. Now, basically, guys, the question now there are some other issues that have come. Okay, so this Lakshadweep seat became vacant because that MP got disqualified. So the Lakshadweep seat was declared vacant. But the Election Commission of India, after the stay order, announced deferring the by-election. Now see, the MP sitting in a particular seat got disqualified, so the seat is vacant. So therefore now here the by-election are to be held. But the Election Commission of India said that these by-elections will not be held now. It will be deferred, and somewhere later in the future, when the election for the elections for all the constituencies will happen, then these elections will be conducted. Okay. So the Lok Sabha has kept the seat vacant and has not yet reinstalled the MP. The reason has been given, is the expensive election. Now the question is coming whether the removal of disqualification can be backdated as if it never happened and the election be avoided, or whether the disqualification is removed only from the date of stay order. Guys, understand this thing. You are not required to go too much in detail in as what will happen now. Can that particular seat be considered that never elections happened there? Can this disqualification start from today? Can the by-elections be deferred? These particular things will be cleared in the days to come. So these are all the legal questions that have emerged here in this particular context. But this is not something that we need to go too much in the detail. You just need to know the basic provisions. You need to know the disqualification, Lily Thomas case of 2013 and the RPA article 102. Okay, so that is all guys about this particular article. Now moving to the next article. Navy plans for another Vikrant size carrier before Vikramaditya retires. Now this particular article will see with respect to the prelims, as well as this particular article will see with respect to GS paper number 3, indigenization of defense. Okay. Now, first of all guys, here I'm going to give you the notes, okay, not taken from this article as per, but important for understanding of this article. Now see, basically guys, every country which is aspiring to be the blue water navy is that navy which has presence in almost all the major water bodies, seas and oceans. So if a country is aspiring to be the blue water navy, okay, they need to have the presence in all the seas. Today we are having the aircraft carrier, that is Vikramaditya. Now guys, understand this thing, that aircraft, they don't have that much long range. So therefore, these aircraft carriers need a kind of a floating base. And what is a floating base of a country? Their aircraft carrier is a floating base. They are a kind of a floating island where they can land, where they can get refueled, they can again fly. Okay, so we need to have aircraft carriers. Today, USA has the most number of aircraft carriers. It has a 10 operational aircraft carriers today, most number of. Now, when we talk about India, today, India is operating number 1 INS Vikramaditya. Now INS Vikramaditya is a aircraft carrier that was originally built for Soviet Navy, but we got it from the Russia in 2013. Okay, it got commissioned in Indian Navy in 2013. So this is the one India's aircraft carrier INS Vikramaditya. Then secondly, just guys, recently in 2022 we commissioned one more aircraft carrier, that is INS Vikrant. It is India's first domestically built aircraft carrier, okay, and it is also equipped with many of the new age technologies, including the ability to house LCA Tejas aircraft. Okay, now coming to this article, so this is all background that you should know. Now coming to the present article, so now Navy is planning for another Vikrant size carrier before Vikramaditya retires. Okay, now this Vikramaditya that we have taken in 2013, it earlier served Russia, now it is serving India, but it is a very old aircraft carrier and now it has to retire. So before it gets retired, we need one more aircraft carrier so that we at least have 2 operational aircraft carrier. If Vikramaditya retires, then Vikrant will stay only 1 aircraft carrier. Okay, so we need to have at least 3 aircraft carriers. So even after the Vikramaditya retires, we will have at least 2. Okay, now guys, Indian Navy is planning to have a third aircraft carrier. It is in the planning stages. Probably it will be called as INS Vishal. Okay, probably that will be the name. Now this is expected to be much, see, there are 2 proposals. Proposal is that one, we can have Vikrant size aircraft carrier which have a displacement of around 44,000 tons, or we can have a bigger aircraft carrier which will have a displacement of around 65,000 tons. Okay, so these 2 things are under consideration. Sometimes we say that no, we can have an aircraft carrier of a size of the INS Vikrant, but sometimes it has been said that we can have a bigger one also, but that is immaterial for our examination, not that much important. Okay, so it will be equipped with electromagnetic aircraft launch system, which will allow it to launch a wider range of aircraft, wider range of fighter jets, big fighter jets, unmanned aerial vehicles. So Indian Navy is planning that particular thing. Up till now, concrete thing has not come out. Okay, so that is all about this particular article. Now moving to next article. Women's group set up gates to curb supply of liquor during Nagaland polls. It is a case study. That can be used in GS paper number 1, social issues. How women activism can help in containing large social evils, social problems. Okay, now see this particular thing. Basically, when we talk about the Nagaland, elections are due in Nagaland and the elections will be there on February 27. Nagaland is a dry state, dry states or state where liquor cannot be sold. But before the elections, many political parties are trying to induce the voters by giving them liquor. Okay, and that is a common practice which happens in every election. So number one, it is a kind of a political corruption. Number two, it is a social evil because social evil, because many number of times people under the influence of alcohol, they beat up the women. Okay, many number of times. Okay, many number of times such kind of a problems happen, and then also it is a legal problem. It is a legal problem because being a dry state, bringing liquor is not is illegal. Now here point is that school students basically the point is that, guys, here the women groups, they have set up gates that within a particular locality or within their neighborhood nobody can bring liquors, nobody can give liquors to their husband, to their brother, to their fathers. Okay, so therefore here we see this particular thing that women organization in fake district in Nagaland, they had decided that they will gate up, they will go they will be ensuring that nobody is using the liquor. So this can be used, as this can be used. Okay, so that is all, guys, about it. And now moving to the next articles. Okay, why it has been named as Vikramaditya? Fine, named after the legendary king Vikramaditya. Okay, mains practice question: Constitution empowered Parliament to make laws. Sorry, Constitution empowered Parliament to make laws to regulate the electoral processes. In this context, discuss the significance of Representation of People Act 1951. Okay, so that is all, guys, about the mains practice question for today. You can write this mains practice question and can submit your answer for review at our peer reviewed Telegram channel. If you don't know about that peer reviewed Telegram channel, you can visit our main Telegram channel. There you can go to the pinned comment. In that pinned comment, you will find the link to our peer reviewed platform. You can upload your answers there, and there the other aspirants, they are giving their reviews. Okay, so that is all, guys, about it. And with this, we come to an end to the today's newspaper analysis. Now, guys, we'll be meeting tomorrow, and guys, this initiative of ours requires your support. Please help us to grow our channel, and you can do that particular thing by sharing our initiative to other fellow people, to at other fellow platforms. You can help us by liking our video and by commenting on our video. Why? Because when you like and when you comment on our videos, it sends a message to YouTube algorithm that people are liking or commenting. So YouTube suggests our video to other people also who need such kind of thing. Fine. So please help us to keep our sustainable, to keep our initiative viable. Thank you so much, guys.